Welcome to Drum Chat Hang. This week we've got Jayson Brinkworth on, and I'm just going to let the room populate a little bit before we dive into this. It's going to be a great show. All right, welcome. Today on Drum Chat Hang, we're going to have a good buddy of mine, Jayson Brinkworth. Now, Jason's one of those guys that's a big pillar in the community, especially in the country scene, and I'm really excited to bring him on. I gotta give you a little bit of heads up on how this is going. It's only been like a week since the idea has come up to do these, and the response and the eagerness to be a part of it is overwhelming. I'm really excited to see how well it's going and to see how much response is happening. And to me, that shows that there's definitely a need for this kind of thing out there, and that I'm on the right track. And thanks to all of you guys for checking it out. So I think without further ado, I'm going to bring Jayson in. And just give me a second here to do that. All right. It's just populating now. Jason's out on the road. There he is. Look at that.
Dude,
You can hear me. Cool. Welcome.
hey, thank you, man. I can't thank you enough. I love when guys are doing new things and trying stuff in this industry, and we need more people like that, and you're a champion. So way to go. Good
Thanks,
job.
man. Thanks a lot. Now tell us where you're at.
I'm actually, I'm actually, and it just sort of worked out this way, but I'm actually in Houston, Texas. I've never been here. What a cool city.
Did you know that I lived in Houston?
I had no idea. Why didn't you fill me
Nobody
in on
would.
some stuff to do?
I lived in Houston. I went to high school in Jersey Village, which is a neighborhood in Houston, for
No
grade
way,
10. Yeah, crazy.
man. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So you're like not really there at my home because I only lived there for like a year, but still pretty cool.
I've got some
So
time
yeah,
tonight.
that's awesome.
I've got some time tonight. Do you want me to go say hi to anybody for you?
Yeah, I don't know. That was a long time ago.
Okay. Well,
Grade
I
10,
can.
man.
It seems pretty far to walk around here, so I don't think I could go that far anyways.
So what are you doing there? What's going on?
Showing up. I'm down here. I have, for the last 3.5 years, I've been playing with this band, Bjorn Again, an ABBA tribute group. And I'm down here. We have a show tomorrow night,
Right.
a corporate show tomorrow night for Hewlett Packard. So,
Oh, wow. That's a big one.
I've been rehearsing
That's a
dancing
really
theme
big
for
one.
months.
I bet. Hey, do you
Yeah,
have to
no,
wear all white?
no, I actually, the band does, but I get to wear a gold shirt.
A
So,
gold shirt.
a gold. Do
That's
you want to
epic.
see it? It's very fancy. I'll show it to you. It's
Of
very
course I want to
fancy.
see it. I think
It's,
everybody here wants to see that. I mean,
yeah,
come on. It's a gold
I'm telling
shirt.
you. It's
Oh,
the
wow.
bee's knees right there. Check that out.
Whoa,
I
dude.
know. And actually, I own two. If anybody wanted to ever borrow one for a function, I have two of them, so I can ship it to you for free if you would wear it. I promise.
We'll put that at the end there. Who to apply for the gold shirt
Oh
prize?
man, I would send it off. Just a word of advice: wear a t-shirt underneath.
I bet it's made out of what, like rayon or something?
Yeah, I
Or
don't know, and
polyester?
it's sort of see-through. So
Oh, is it?
I don't know. You pay your money, you
Oh,
take your
that's kind of
chances, right?
fun. Well, I don't know if I'd look good in it, that's for sure.
Wow, man, I think everybody would look good. It's a gold shirt.
Yeah, that's true. Gold shirts are, yeah, they're one of those things. They're either you rock it or you don't. And I think
Right?
most people will definitely rock it for a period of time.
Yeah, exactly. My mission tomorrow night, being downtown Houston, is to wear a gold shirt and not get beat up.
Killed, you mean? You
Well,
are in the
I
States.
think just beat up a little bit.
Just
I
stay away
think
from
just
the
beat
Fifth
up.
Ward. That's where that's the rough part of town is the Fifth Ward.
Yeah,
That's where like
I don't
all
know.
like the
They told us it was
hardcore
safe around
gangsters are
here.
at. Oh, it's safe probably for the most part anywhere. But I
Yeah.
mean, if you're looking for trouble, that's usually something you're easy to find. I'm down there more so than in Regina.
Well, maybe you'd be surprised. I don't know. I don't know. But what a great city, man. What a great vibe. I actually, just before we went live here, I booked a tour of the Minute Maid ballpark tomorrow morning. So
Oh,
uh,
sweet.
I'm a big baseball fan, not an Astros fan. I apologize, but it's a ballpark and
Oh.
it looked great. So I thought, hey, for $15, I've got to go see it. So I'm living the
If you've
dream.
got time, you should go down to Galveston.
Oh man, I know.
Galveston's pretty.
Someone told me that yesterday and was telling me all about it, and it sounds incredible.
Yeah, we used to skip school and go to Galveston all the time and get in trouble.
Oh man, I'm gonna sub. I'm gonna sub out of the gig and go.
There you go.
And I'm gonna wear my shirt. Can I wear my gold shirt in Galveston? Would that work?
It'd probably go over better there.
Would it actually? Okay.
It's,
I'd be
it's
safer.
a it's a pretty
Nice.
crazy town. Spring break in Galveston is kind of like the poor man's or the Texas version of like uh, the Indy 500 kind of idea, where it's like, whoa, everybody's going
Oh, man.
crazy.
Well, it's right on the Gulf of Mexico, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
So
water is garbage.
it's kind of like Mexico.
It's kind of like Mexico. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like Mexico.
Sure, sure. It's closer to Mexico than Regina. Let's say that.
Yeah, it's definitely closer to, yeah, for sure. I would, without even looking it up on
Yes,
Google, I would say that you're safe to say that's probably true.
that's right. That's about as far as my geography knowledge goes. I'm winning.
There you go. You're doing better than most of the population down there.
That's
They don't
pretty good.
even know where
And I'm a
Regina
drummer,
is.
so man.
Yeah.
Oh, I just heard what you said. Ouch.
I will say this though. Oh, now I lost it. What was I gonna say?
Oh
I
man.
lost it. It'll come back to me.
Don't get me in trouble with the people down here. I still have to be here
Oh
for
no,
another
I'm not
30
getting you in
minutes.
trouble. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be totally fine. Just don't go out at night.
Yeah. Well, it's night now, and I have to go get food after this, so maybe I'll just stay at the hotel.
You're done. Yeah.
It's over. So it's over. Well,
Yeah,
I have some
it
popcorn
is.
here in my room, so that's what I get.
There you go. Oh, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Here's a funny story. I do production work, and I had this crew that had a day off in Regina, and they go to me, so what is there to do in Regina? And I'm
Yeah.
like, Regina? I mean,
I was kind of surprised they didn't know how to say it. And then when I said that's not how you say it, they're like, "Are you serious? It's said the
Yeah,
other way."
they didn't want to say it. I know.
Yeah, they wanted to be, I guess, politically correct or whatever. They thought that maybe they were reading it wrong or something.
They
But
just
that
wanted to
just
hear
shows
someone.
these are grown adults. I
I
don't
know.
know. I
I
don't know how you
know.
don't know that.
I know.
But
I know. I've lived in the city all my life. I know. I know.
but have you seen the infomercial? I think it's a spoof on the tourism piece that says it's I think if you Google it on or go on YouTube and find Experience Regina,
Oh my goodness
look it
gracious!
up.
Don't
It's
don't even get me
it's
don't even get
it
me
sounds
started. We did
bad.
a gig. You know what? We did a gig. It was a couple years ago now at the casino with Aaron and the band. We actually learned it and we played it
Oh
as
man.
a playoff. We played it at soundcheck and we played it as a playoff that night at the show.
Oh wow. Oh, the theme song to
Yeah.
that video? That's
Experience
amazing.
Regina. I know. Yes, I know. I live
With the
there. I have.
keyboard,
I
all
have to.
that
I have
mind
to
blowing.
accept it or move.
Oh yeah, well,
I
all the
know, man.
mind-blowing information you get overloaded with on that video is
And
amazing.
the lady's voice sells it so hard. Everybody's got to check that. Like, if
Oh
nothing
yeah,
else, it's just another thing to laugh at Regina about. But it actually is kind of
I'm
funny.
definitely
I
gonna
think it's
post it
hilarious.
later. It's probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen, especially
It really is.
about Regina.
And I think it was done. I had heard. I don't know, but I think it was done in all seriousness. I think someone like was thinking they'd sell it to tourism, but why not?
I was thinking that too, but there's this splash at the end of it, like the last like minute or whatever. There's this splash, and it's like a diagram of a uterus and a
Uh,
line through it. So I'm thinking that makes it maybe
of,
spoof.
of course it is.
Because I
Why
don't
not?
think they would put that on there if it was for tourism, because they don't even want to acknowledge that part.
Well, it's my home. It's my hometown, man. I don't know. They might. They might.
They might. Like, how can we sell this place?
Exactly. You know what? Any
That's
advertising is good
awesome.
advertising. Isn't that the old adage?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, any word is good word.
That's right.
So what's been going on? Like, you're doing the Mamma Mia thing, and
Yeah.
then you're doing stuff with Aaron. So tell us about
Yeah.
that side of things.
The year has started off pretty busy. We were out. Aaron had his new record came out in January, and has been
Hmm.
doing really good. And we did a 6-week run across Canada from
Awesome.
January 10th to February 24th. We went out for 6 weeks and did the Pacific to the Atlantic, and it was good. It was a really good tour, and he came home and his single was top 10, and a lot of great shows and stuff. And I
Perfect.
think the word is in the fall there's another bit added to places we didn't get to. So
Oh, that's awesome. So things
I don't
are
know.
things are obviously alive and well and doing great. That's great.
Yeah, man, he's doing awesome. I just every day pinch myself that people actually phone me to come play, but I don't know. It's good. I love working with other people, and I love seeing people doing great things. So it makes me
That
it
is
makes me
cool.
happy.
That is cool. So how did you end up in that gig? Like, what's the give us the whole backstory?
Yeah. So, man, it goes back a ways. I've been in the band almost 11 years,
Hmm.
and it was 2008. 2008? Yeah, 2008. I got an email from a friend of mine, Mike Norman, and some people watching might remember Mike Norman. Mike had passed away a little while ago,
Right.
and Mike was an amazing human being and musician in Vancouver. And I had done a lot of work with him in the early 2000s with Tom
Right.
McKillop and One More Girl and some of the military stuff and everything. Anyways, Mike was in Aaron's band and had done some records with him, and they were looking to make a change in the band, and he had sent an email and said, if you might be interested, let me know. I think this would be a good gig for you. It's not super the schedule isn't too intense and stuff. He knew I had other things going on with the music school and everything. So he
Hmm.
said, maybe reach out and check it out. So I got a hold of Mitch Merritt and Aaron, and it just kind of worked out, and I just started playing, and it's a great situation. It's a real family. A lot of the guys have been in the band for a long time,
Yeah.
and it's fun, man. He treats us great, and again, it's I get to work with beautiful human beings in that group, and there's nothing like that. So
Well, those kind of gigs, like to fall into a gig like that is an absolute like yeah, I've never personally been in a situation like that, but I've always wanted to find a situation like that. And I know watching from the outside, that is a dream gig.
yeah,
There isn't any other gigs that are like that around,
it's
really.
it's pretty spoiling in a lot of ways, and I never take that for granted. Like over the 11
Mhm.
years, I've never once thought, well, man, I'm in this band and I'm here, like I could be replaced tomorrow. I don't know, like, and it's a funny thing because the band, everybody's in Vancouver and I'm in Regina, which I hope they're not watching because now they're going to turf me because they're like, yeah, that makes sense. Why do we have that guy? But it's the way this industry goes, right? Like there's a lot of
Well,
factors,
yeah.
but I'm, like I said, any work I get, I'm super thankful for. And I honestly still, when my phone rings and people book me for stuff, I'm like, what? Why? I don't get it, but it is great. And I love Aaron. He treats everybody like gold, and
Yeah.
he works harder than any buddy I've like. He just works so hard, and nothing phases him, and he goes out and just busts his ass all the time. Apologies on the language, but man, he does. And I we just try to follow his lead on that.
I think when your heart's so invested in it, it doesn't feel like work, so you're willing to do what it takes. You know
That's
what I
true.
mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
there's no
The
limit.
above
There's
and
no like,
beyond.
oh my God, why am I doing this? That
Yeah,
was the next question for you. Why are you playing drums? Like what is it that drives you?
man. Oh geez, I don't know. I don't know. I still have one of my kids in university, so that I'm just kidding. No, it's you know what? I still feel
You're
like
25. How is it you're 25 and have a kid in university?
I
That
know.
was a
I
gimme
know.
there. I got you a gimme right there.
Actually, that's really funny. I was just talking to the keyboard player that's on this gig, Mark Olikson. He's from Vancouver. He's an amazing human being and player. And we're actually born on the exact same day in the exact same year, which is kind of funny. And we both turned
Oh
50
wow.
this year. So we were talking about it this afternoon. We were like, man, is it bugging you at all? And it's not. No, yeah, but you know what? Playing, I still feel, and I know this sounds really cliche, but I still feel like when I first started playing, I still love the act of playing music with other people and creating.
Yeah.
And man, actually, just on this note, can I read you something I read today? This blew my mind.
Yeah, totally.
So the listeners, I don't know. I was just reading the newest modern drummer that came out, and Josh
Right.
Dion is in there. And if you guys don't know who Josh Dion is from New York City, you got to check him out. Paris Monster, check it out. But he had this quote in the book, and it was so amazing, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks today. And he said, we want to play fast, but more than anything, it's like, can I be honest and happy with myself, and can I create something with other people? It's the unity of
Mhm.
playing together that is stronger and makes that thing happen. And I honestly I feel like that. Like I don't, I like
Yeah.
the act of practicing and working on stuff, but it doesn't mean anything until I'm in a room with other people playing music.
Yeah, yeah.
There's nothing like that. Like I don't think there's, I don't know, but I don't think there's anything else on the planet like sitting in a room with other people and you don't know what it's about to happen, but you start playing and in the moment you create and it's just like, it's magic.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like a lot of people compare it to drugs. I
Yeah, well,
don't have a lot of experience with drugs, so
me
uh,
neither.
I would assume that that feeling that I get when I play is what they're talking about. But
Yeah,
I
man.
do feel that there's like a scientific study that was done. It shows that there was a release of endorphins and stuff that happened when you
Yeah.
play.
Well, it's
And just
definitely
feeding
euphoric.
off of each other.
There's no doubt about it. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it's there's just so many factors in playing, but it's all about the give. Like it's never about, when I go out to
Yeah,
play, it's never about me getting anything from the gig. It's about me because we're a support instrument. We're not out in front or anything. And it's about me giving the singer what they need and the guitar player what they need. But more importantly, it's about giving the crowd and the people that pay the money what they want and them being happy.
yeah,
Because if we can collectively give them that, that's how the whole system works. And it's all a team. Like we're
yeah,
in four walls with all these people, and everybody should, try to vibrate at the same frequency. And we're in charge of that.
yeah. Absolutely, keeping
Yeah,
everybody in line. Absolutely.
well, it's
That's awesome.
That's really funny. That's true to an extent. I'm just looking at the scroll of people, seeing if there's any guitar players listening, because
I
yeah,
don't
there's
think
some
so
we won't
yet.
say anything.
I think we're
I'm
safe
kidding.
amongst all of our brethren here.
That's right. Yeah, I know. I'm seeing all these people showing up. It's kind of freaking me out. I've never done something like this before, and I'm seeing all these green things come up, and I'm like, oh man, what's going on?
Oh,
There's
they're
all these
just
people.
those are all the people watching at this current moment. There's
Yeah,
some internal conversations going on as well, and I know there was a
I'm
couple of
trying to.
questions. I think
I'm trying to
I don't
watch
know.
it. Man,
Yeah, yeah.
this is all new to me. Now I'm showing I'm 50. I'm looking at this thing going, how
You're
does
like,
this
what is this?
technology
What is this
work?
technology? This
Exactly.
technology is out of control.
That's right. Send me
No,
a
but you know
letter.
what? What's that?
Send me a letter and I'll answer back.
Write me a pigeon letter. You know
That's
what?
true, man.
Uh, I always got a kick. I always get a kick because I guess more last year than and the year before. I swear to God, like my day job is, a lot of you guys know I work at an airline, and I'm below the wing loading planes and whatnot. And I keep seeing this impact case that's a symbol case, and as soon as I see it, and I swear to God, I can see it like a mile and a half away, and I see it, and I'm like, and I'm trying to look it up. I'm like, where is he playing
And I
tomorrow?
throw it.
Where is he
And
playing tomorrow? I'll know what gate he's on. I'll go say hi.
and you do. You'll always message me, or we'll end up meeting at the Tim Hortons at
Oh
the
yeah,
terminal.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
man.
because you're in my house.
I love that. Absolutely. I love
You know
that.
what? It's almost every drummer is like that too. Like I'll see a drum case, and 9 times out of 10, I'll know who it is. So
Yeah.
once I see a guitar case or a drum case, I always check the name. And
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, I'm like, mother, I got to go
Yeah.
up and say hi now.
Yeah.
It's not a
That's
bother. I love it. I think it's really cool because
I think it is
to
too.
me, well, I worked for years and years and years in a music shop and run a drum shop for 14 years. And the social interaction is something that, you don't maybe think about while it's happening, but once you're not having it on the regular, it's a huge thing. It is a huge thing to just kind of like do this, just, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, man.
Great
Well,
show last night, that kind of thing,
it is, and
Huge.
it's funny because a lot of people think this industry is big, and it's not that big. Like it's
No.
not, even globally, it's not that big.
Oh no, yeah.
And in
Yeah.
Canada, it's not that big. And we're our own support group. Like we're our own, and we have to, that's like our conventions is when we get together and things like that. And it's really it is really important. And you're right. Like you don't realize in the moment, but afterwards, I know after this, I know how my heart's going to feel just going, man, you know what? We chatted and we talked about stuff and shared
It's
information.
the connection,
And
yeah.
totally. And it is huge. And it's a really important thing because we all, again, it sounds cliche, but we all are family in this. And anybody
Oh, absolutely.
that does this, I give them a high five, man, because it's not easy. And anybody that's out there trying to hustle
Yeah.
it and work at anything, I cheer them on big time because, it's,
Yeah.
well, we know it's not. Hey, Sarah, I haven't seen Sarah Beth Keeley in so long. Hope she's
Oh,
doing
look at
good.
that. See?
Man,
Yeah,
that's a
I think
that's a
she's doing great.
flashback. I still got her charts at home if she ever wants to do a gig.
Yeah. Right on. Hello.
That's funny.
Yeah, this is the
This is
meeting
cool.
place. This is the new hangout,
This is
the
cool, man.
electronic hangout.
I love this. This is so good. This is such a great
Yeah.
idea. You can do anything now.
Yeah. The
These
future
days.
is here. The future is here.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Oh hey Gavin. Yeah, right on, man. I've seen
No,
some of his
Gavin's there
instructional
too.
stuff he's been putting up. He's doing so great.
Oh, I know. I've seen it.
He's
It's
crushing
so
it out there.
complex. It,
Yeah.
it, it blows my mind every time he posts something, and I'm just like, I can't do that much math.
Yeah,
But I
I
love
know.
watching
I
it.
know.
I love
I watch
watching
it.
it, and it pushes me.
Yeah,
It
I watch it
pushes
from
me.
a viewer perspective and go, yeah, man, that's great. But yeah, you're right. It's like, yeah, my body
Wow.
doesn't work. My body doesn't work like that.
Well, I love Gavin's playing. He's wicked. He used to teach at Axe when I was working there,
Oh
and
yeah.
he would come in and kind of warm up on one of the kits in the shop. And every single time, I was just like, I'm gonna quit.
Yeah.
It was just like it was nothing. It was
Yeah.
nothing. You're just like, blah.
Yeah.
And
That's,
afterwards, I was just like, oh.
yeah, exactly.
Love it.
But again, you know, speaking of that, because I know that's a really funny thing when you talk to people about that. But again, you know, just the thing from Josh Dion, you know, are you comfortable in your own skin and the way you play? And
Yeah.
I think everybody has to kind of find that and kind of go, you know what? Here's what I do, and we can all work on other stuff. We can all work on other things and try to get better at them. But when we know what we can do, and if it's working, man, just
Yeah.
run with that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's and not in a lazy way, just in a way of going, you know what? I'm cool with how I do things, and if others are cool with it, that's great. But if not, I'm cool with how I do it.
Yeah, everybody's got their own groove, and their own style for sure. But
Absolutely,
it's like
it's
that
a
old adage where you can get 20 dudes playing the exact same quote unquote notation,
yeah.
but every single one sounds different.
Yeah, man,
You know?
it's a fingerprint. It totally
It's
is, and it's really important to do that. And the other thing is, we have to understand why we're doing this. Like I know with students, I always, you know, assess them, and I'm like, what do you want to get out of this? Because if someone's like, man, I want to sit in my bedroom and I want to jam to AC/DC, and that's all I want to do, and I don't want to play with other people, I'm like, we will play Back in Black every week, all week long. I'm cool with that, right? Because that's what
And you
they
know,
want
that
to get out of
shit's
drumming.
hard. That shit's hard when you really
It's
dig into it.
it
It's
is.
so complex. It gets so much quick dismissal on being, oh, that's easy, until you get into it and you really try to find that spot. I mean, that stuff is really hard.
Yeah.
You know, it
Yeah.
is because
Well,
it's deep and it's
yeah.
complex.
Yeah, again, Phil Rudd, you know, he had a real way
Oh
of
yeah,
laying the 2 and 4 down, and just and you know, and the hi-hats moving the way they did, and just everything inside of that. And you know, and him and Malcolm Young were such an amazing, you know,
yeah.
Malcolm wasn't the bass player, but there's such an amazing rhythm section, and just the way the
Oh
push
yeah.
and pull sort of worked in that is really magical. And I think that, you know, if anybody, I tell all my students, if anybody wants to learn to play eighth note rock, play AC/DC records. Like
That's the
seriously, just
handbook.
what
Yeah,
absolutely, like just play Back in Black front to back, and like, or just
yeah,
listen to it and try to get some of it into your DNA to feel how it, because music is, you know, there's time and there's everything, but it's all about emotion and feel. And
Mhm.
you know, as younger players, you just want to sort of move to that and go, okay, so when I play, do I think I'm making people feel something, or is it, you know, is it sucking the life out of them? Are they bored? Or they, you know? So
Mhm.
I don't know. There's so many analogies on that stuff, but I just think that having perspective on what you want to get out of something is so important, and what you want to
It
deliver
is.
too.
It's so important because I mean, yeah, do you want to play in your bedroom or do you want to play, you know, in a bar scene, or you want to try to pursue something further, or if you
Yeah,
want to even get into more of the technical side, you know, there's
absolutely.
so many avenues, and
There
every
really,
avenue has its own legitimacy,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
cool.
absolutely. You can't, yeah, you can't. That's like saying there's bad music. Like there's no such thing. It's all opinion. And
Mhm.
playing, you know, a busier style of playing isn't my thing, but man, I'm just enamored by guys that, you know, the gospel guys and the metal guys, you
Mhm.
know, the stuff that they can pull off. I'm just intrigued by how they can mentally process that and do that. And I'm
Yeah.
interested in it to work on it. But I know that, man, that's just not that's not what drives me. And that's fine,
Mhm. Oh
you
yeah,
know?
that's totally it. Yeah. A lot of people call that, I heard a term for it, the super technical fast stuff as Olympic drumming, which makes
Well,
sense. Olympic
absolutely.
drumming,
There's,
like
you
just
know,
because you're doing so much and you have to become an athlete at your craft and
yeah.
really focus your playing and your intensity, and I mean it 5 minutes of that is like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. You
Yeah.
know, I can't
Oh
imagine playing
yeah.
20-minute set or like a 2 hour set. Like,
Oh
oh my
man.
God,
It's
that's
crazy. Well,
that's
I remember
serious.
we did. It was one of the drum camps, one of the stickman camps, and Flo Monnier was there. I remember
Oh, flow.
standing right beside Flo as he was doing his clinic, and I was just like, man, the amount of control in his body and how relaxed, like it blew my mind. And then
Oh
Gerald
yeah.
Hayward was there, and I was just like, okay, come on. Like, this is just not even fair that these guys can like do
Yeah.
this.
And he has so much groove too. Like a lot of
Oh,
guys that play that kind of stuff don't have any groove. It's just like,
yeah.
but he's
Yeah.
got a flow to it, and it almost has like a circular kind of feel when you're watching him play.
Oh
His
yeah,
blast
man.
beats and stuff have a kind of circle to it.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
he
I
can,
love
yeah,
flow. Flow is great.
he can lay it back, and he can, he can push it ahead like he's towing a semi.
Yeah,
He just, he just, yeah, he just he has a thing. And I love it. I just love sitting watching guys like that. It kind of makes me
oh yeah.
laugh. I'm just like, wow, that's incredible. And I love it. And, I think, yeah, I'm a huge fan of guys that play like that.
Yeah, Gene Hoglan's another one that's like the same kind of thing.
Oh
Gene's
yeah.
like
In his boots. That's the
in
other
his
thing.
boots with ankle weights. With ankle weights, he uses like 5 or 10 pound ankle weights and does super fast bass drum work. It's like, what is going on here?
My feet are slow at the best of times in my light shoes. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm not trying to break any land speed records, especially lately. I've been more focusing on pocket stuff,
yeah,
just like
yeah, man.
straight groove.
Yeah.
Love
I
it.
think there's a serious emotion in that, and
Yeah.
that's the thing. When you listen to, like one of the, for me, and again with students, when I point them in a direction of different things to check out, one thing that I get them all to check out is go listen to John Mayer's Continuum record. Because front to back, you listen to Steve Jordan, and not just Steve Jordan, you listen to Pino and you listen to John Mayer, and just how
Oh,
everything
yeah.
flows. It is just, to me, it's the epitome of like an album that everybody should play along to because it's super complete.
Man, that record, I put it on sometimes and just kind of like over top practice with just like an iPod, and
Oh yeah,
it moves you so much. You get right into that pocket. There's
yeah,
hardly any fills, and that's what I like about it. There's
yeah.
another
Because it's
band
special,
that's like
right?
that too. The War on Drugs. Have you heard that band yet?
Absolutely, yeah,
Unbelievable, and just
yeah,
flow and groove, and just there's nothing but the bare bones of it, but again with a lot of feeling and emphasis and drive to it. it's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's hot.
That's the cool thing, about music is, you look at it and you go, okay, well, there's only so much information, only so many notes out there, and you know the Beatles played them all and stuff, but there's still so much emotion that people are exploring. And it was like a lot of people were down on the YouTube thing when it came out, and they're like, "Man, this is going to kill live music." And I think it's helped because nothing is like being in a room with live players playing and everybody feeling the same thing. And then that'll never be replaced because that's an emotional experience that
No.
all human beings want. And
Yeah.
I think it's incredible. And I don't think it matters what style of music you're playing. If there's fans out
No.
there,
Yeah.
man, you just got to give them you got to give them what they want. You got to give them what they paid for.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I love watching a band like there was a couple of guys that were playing around town here, older gentlemen, and they didn't communicate. There was no words.
Yeah.
Like when they're talking about the next song, there was no talking. It was like just suddenly like this natural flow into it. And they've obviously been playing together for a really long time. Trying to remember the name of the band. But again, like that kind of stuff is connected here. And
Yeah.
once you've got that with a group, it's really hard to play in a group that doesn't have it, you know?
Well,
I would
you
imagine.
want that. Like it's like
Yeah,
anything. Once you get a taste of it, you're like, man, I want that. I know that there's
yeah,
I know there's a guy in Regina, JJ Voss, that I've played with a lot for a lot of years, and we've done a lot of great stuff together. And we do duo things, and there's full band things and stuff. And man, we can read each other like a book. Like it's just like we'll sit down to play, and like you say, no one has to say anything. He'll start, and it's
yeah,
like, I know where we're going, and he'll finish, and I'll be like, I know where we're going. I know,
yeah,
and we feel so comfortable, and there's so much trust. And that's the other thing too. When you play with people that you can play with people that you like their playing, but if everybody on that stage doesn't trust each other and respect each other,
mhm.
it's just not going to go anywhere, I don't think.
Well,
And
it's apparent. It's not even that it won't go anywhere. It's very obvious if there isn't that there. If there
yeah,
isn't the trust, there isn't the adoration for the person you're playing with.
Absolutely.
it's painful. Or like, for example, you go see a band and they're not getting along. There was like a
Yeah.
fight right before they go on stage.
Yeah.
You can read that like a book.
Oh yeah,
It's
man.
so
Well,
obvious.
it's the human emotions, and they show.
Yeah.
You know, you could try to hide it, but it shows. But especially when you're participating in art, like music or anything
Mhm.
with other people, it becomes very evident because you have to wear your heart on your sleeve. You have to,
Yeah.
again, you have to give. You don't get, you give.
Yeah.
And it's very important to understand that. But you know, again, when you're in that situation and that happens, there's there's
Mhm.
nothing like that.
Oh yeah. It's pure gold. Pure
That's the
gold like a
best.
gold shirt.
That's
Pure
exact.
gold shirt.
You want to see it again? I'll show it again.
Show us again.
Give me
Show
give me a
us
few
again.
give me a few minutes. Maybe I'll put it on for the rest of the show.
Oh my God.
This
How come
could
you
get out
didn't
of hand.
have it on already?
I
That is the
know.
question.
You know what? Now that we've said this, come on.
Yeah. No, you don't want to put it on. You gonna put it on? Oh God, here we
Yeah,
go.
you keep talking, but you know,
This is gonna get weird. This is gonna
if
get
my
really weird.
if my
Here
wife
comes the
tunes in on
gold
this, she'll
shirt.
be like, "Oh dear, he's not allowed to leave
That's
the
all right.
house any. He's not allowed to leave the house anymore."
That's all right. I'm not wearing any pants right now, so we're good. We're good.
Oh man, this is out of hand.
Don't make me stand up, all right? Don't make me stand up.
I know what kind of show this is. I thought you said it was a family show.
That's why I'm sitting down. Yeah, that looks, it almost looks like a hockey jersey.
I know. Thank
It
you.
seriously
That was
almost
very
looks like a
redeeming.
golden hockey jersey.
I know.
Wow.
Look at that, eh? Is that a dancing queen or
Man, it's a dancing something. It's a dancing something.
Look at Tolan's comments. He's the best.
Oh yeah, I had him on. I had him on the show earlier this week. We
He
were
was
talking
great.
about how we weren't going to wear pants, and so it's
Oh.
just tying over from that one.
Man, oh man. Oh, my buddy Fazy's watching with a real Slim Shady. Please stand up. Oh my goodness. This is the best. I love it. Oh, this is too
Oh,
fun. I
that's
can't believe I'm
hilarious.
actually wearing this damn. I better remember to take this off before I go inside the hotel because I'm gonna totally get beat up.
Yeah, more than likely.
Yeah.
Cruising the streets of Houston, Texas, all out of control.
Exactly. They'll throw me in the big fire that's going on outside of town here.
Oh yeah, is that what? There's a fire? What?
I think there was a nuclear some plant or something blew up yesterday. I don't know. It was on the
Oh, no
news.
way.
There was a big smoke thing when I was coming into town, and I just thought maybe that's what happened in Texas. I don't know.
No. The Big Smoke? Isn't that what they
Yeah.
call Texas? No, where do they call it the Big Smoke? That's not Texas.
Toronto.
Is
That's
it?
Toronto.
Toronto's the Big Smoke.
I believe that's
Wow.
Toronto. Yeah. I haven't even
Well,
went
it's
for
a
any
long way away.
barbecue here yet. I thought for sure last night I would have went and had some barbecue, but I didn't. I went and got pizza. How stupid was that? Pizza in Houston.
Yeah, I
Come
don't
on.
think there's very many good pizza places in Houston. But yeah, Texas barbecue is awesome. And now if
Yeah.
you're in Austin, I would tell you to go to Pootie's Hilltop Bar and Grill.
Ooh.
You know who Pootie
Yeah,
is?
Austin would be life changing, man.
Oh yeah. Pootie was Willie Nelson's tour manager forever.
Serious.
And he's passed on, unfortunately. I used to call him Uncle Pootie because we did a bunch of shows with him, and he called me baby boy and I called him Uncle Pootie. And whenever he was anywhere near Canada, like PEI, he'd be like, "Are you coming to the show tonight? Are you coming to the show tonight in PEI?" And I'm in Calgary.
A little far away.
Geographical nightmare.
Yeah. But
Every time I'm always like, "I don't think you know where you are, do you?" He's like, "No."
didn't matter.
But yeah,
Didn't matter.
it's like a
He was where he was.
barbecue roadside barbecue place, and Willie Nelson plays there on Christmas Eve usually. He does a set, and then they do the 4th of July party every year.
Man.
Out front with a giant stage and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would
That's
be.
crazy.
You're not that far away. You may rent a car, maybe take an extra day.
Yeah. Well, no kidding. Well, there's so much going on here too. Like Pink's in town a couple blocks from here tonight.
Oh no way!
And the Houston Rodeo finished up Sunday night, and it ran for a few weeks, and
That's a massive rodeo.
it was
That's
crazy.
a massive rodeo.
The lineup was
Yeah.
insane. Yeah, it was nuts. So
Did they
yeah,
say who they had on?
It's a happening town. Well, George Strait, I think he played the final night, or George Strait and Brooks and Dunn. But Camilo Cabello played. I know Chris Johnson was here, and
Wow.
it was nuts. It was all over the map, and I had no
Really?
I didn't realize it was that big till I was just reading something the other day, and I was like, or
Oh
yesterday.
yeah, yeah, I think it's almost as big, or it's as big as the Stampede.
Jeez.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know the actual numbers, but I know that it certainly rivals, if not is bigger than the Stampede, which is, we all know how big the Stampede is and how much stupidity that entails.
Oh
for
yeah.
10 days of chaos.
Yes, a couple.
I don't think it doesn't take hold of the whole town like it does here.
Yeah.
Down there. I mean, it's not quite
it's so big. It's so big here. I don't even know how many people live in Houston. We're downtown, and it looks like it's spread out pretty far, but it's nice, man. The people have been great here. It's beautiful, and there's a lot of cool things down here. A ton of history, obviously, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, I'm just standing here in my gold shirt. Someone's probably going to shoot me through the window. Just standing here, going, how in the world am I here playing drums? This doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even add up in my head. Like, honestly, I playing Dancing Queen, man. I know, Mamma Mia. I'm ready for it.
My dad used to play the crap out of that record. Oh
really?
My God, to a point where I couldn't listen to it when I got older. I was like, I can't handle this. The whole record, back to front, like flip it over, turn it over, play it again, insane.
You know what? The music is pretty heavy. It's pretty amazing. Like it's pop music, but the production and the parts and everything are nuts. Like the bass parts on the records are insanity. Like I can't remember the guy's name who played bass for the band, but holy smokes, it's crazy. As much as I don't want to make this a geek out about ABBA, but man, the tunes are great, and people still lose their minds.
Yeah. Now, what level of production would you say? Like how big of a normal show would that be?
Well, here's the thing with this band. This band doesn't play very often. Like I started playing in this band in when did I start? It was like the fall of 2015, and between then and now we've done this is my fifth show.
Right.
So we don't play that much. I think the group I can't remember in Europe. There's a group in Europe and a group in Australia, and I think the group in Europe still plays quite a bit. And then they're
all still called the same thing.
Bjorn again, yeah,
they are. Okay.
Yeah, and the guy that runs it all, Rod, he actually years ago when this started, he had an official endorsement from ABBA to be like the official ABBA tribute. They toured with Shania Twain years ago, and they did a bunch of stuff. And I know Matt Atkins did the gig for a lot of years, and Scott Christensen was like the first guy in the Canadian group and stuff, and they did an amazing job. And then it just worked out that I kind of was getting calls on these gigs. But again, there's not many. But when we play, like the first gig I did was in Beverly.
I mean, they're flying you to Houston. It's not a small gig.
No, like the first gig was in Beverly Hills at the Beverly Hills Hilton, and the second one was in San Francisco, and then Rochester and Long Island. So it's places like it's really weird. Like, and then the next one's in Chicago, and it's just again you go what like why aren't we playing Moose Jaw? But I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know, man.
Speedy Creek, maybe they should be playing Speedy Creek.
You know what? I'm gonna put that bug in the rear.
Yeah, that's a hotbed.
Now we're talking. We're talking. I think we're boring the people with all the ABBA chat. They're like, oh man, I didn't come on here to talk about ABBA.
I think everybody's digging it. Is everybody digging it? Everybody's really responding. There's a bunch of people on here that are
probably all adding all the ABBA records to their Apple Music right now and dancing in their living rooms, wishing they had a gold shirt.
They're like, we reminded them of how good it could actually be.
That's right.
Now
exactly.
They're back into it.
We validated it for them. We made it okay. We made it a safe zone.
It's okay to like ABBA. It's okay.
It totally
No
is.
judgment here. This is a safe
No,
space.
man.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Benny and Bjorn would be happy.
There you go. So, like, all of them are corporate gigs or what?
I think so. I think that's sort of yeah, everything we've done so far has been, yeah, that's the world. Yeah. Yeah. Like this is for Hewlett
Perfect.
Packard. The one, I can't remember what the children's charity was in Beverly Hills. The San Francisco one was the city of San Francisco, Long Island. Yeah, they were all corporate things. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it's fun.
That's it's interesting, you know, that's a whole other ball of wax. The corporate gig thing, it can be I've done a couple of corporate gigs in the past, and every single one of them was a little bit stiff. But by the
Yeah.
sounds of this one, because it's production and it's more of a you are the focal point and not the facilitator of a party in the
Right.
normal, you know what I mean? Like for
Yeah.
those kind of corporate gigs, usually you're the background music while they're discussing about, well, this year's profits are way up, and now we're gonna have a band play some Tragically Hip, you know,
It's exactly.
and everybody, John's gonna get too drunk at the party. He's
Yeah.
probably gonna get fired. Judy over there is already saying, you know, I can't believe John. Like, did you see John last night? He was out of control.
Yeah.
And you know, the boss is going, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know,
That's right.
that's
Well, we'll
that's
see.
my
You know what?
corporate party experience.
We'll see, because tomorrow, before we play, there's some aerial act going on. I don't know what it is, but I just saw the
Aerial act?
some. I don't know, like some. I have no idea. We don't know, so it could be very, very interesting.
Cirque
So
de
that's what.
ABBA.
I don't know, man. It could be like. It could be. It could be like.
Oh wait,
I don't know.
is
ABBA
it during the
Cirque du Soleil.
dinner?
What's that?
Is there like a dinner too? There's probably a dinner, and that's probably the act that goes on during the dinner.
Well, you know what?
Because
I
I've seen
think.
that at parties before, where
I
they have
think
like an
you're right.
aerial act, and it's like some guy or girl on a bunch of like material hanging from the roof, and they just
Man,
go up the material, and then down the material, and you're eating your chicken or steak or whatever it is the option was, and you
I'm
got the
intrigued
bottle of
because
white
now
and red. It's almost like a
I
wedding.
better not be thrown up on a trapeze tomorrow before we play. That would be terrible.
Well, you got the
But in,
shirt
but in
for it.
this,
You may want to arrive at the gig not wearing the shirt so they don't confuse you for the flying Ambrosies or something and throw you up there.
you know what? I think you're right. I think you're exactly right on that. That's true. No, I don't. I don't know. Like, I think the dinner. I think the dinner portion is like after we play, so everybody's got to stick around because they aren't serving food. I don't know. Like it could. I know. You know what? I know tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I'm going on a tour of a baseball park, and at 2:30 they're picking us up here, and I'm putting my stuff in a vehicle and going to set up some drums. I think.
That's a dream, man. That's a
That's all I
dream.
know.
Sounds
That's all I have
easy.
to know.
You know, because I work at an airline, I don't want to say what airline, just in case I get in
Yeah.
trouble for it, you know. Uh, hey, Jeff, I need you to come and tech. I'm going to Houston.
That's right. That's right.
I need you to come and tech.
I don't know what's going on here, but someone's got to save the
We
day.
fly to Chicago. We fly to Chicago. I know I can do that one.
Yes. Well, you know what? You and me in April, we'll make a trip. I'll throw you in my cymbal case.
Hey, sweet. I think I'll fit in that impact case. You know what? I've got an impact kick drum case that I've had for years. 22 one. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
They're rugged.
It makes
man.
me think of you.
Yeah. That's really good. That's really good. I'm sure my wife has some inanimate object that makes her think of me too, like a table or something. She's like, "Oh, that makes me think of you."
That reminds me, she's a musician as well, right? Oh, did you freeze? I think you froze.
Yeah, someone was trying to phone me. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, damn
Probably a
it.
student canceling a lesson or something.
Somebody's going, I can see you on the internet. I know what you're doing in a golden shirt.
That's right. Well, it wasn't my wife's number, so it was okay.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you. Yeah. Now she's a musician as well, right?
She is. Yes. She's very good.
And what does she do? She's a singer. Am I right on that?
She sings. Yeah, she sings and she plays piano, and she's an amazing educator. And yeah, and she puts up with me, which I really don't know why, but I don't know.
That's the golden question we all have whenever we're with
I
a partner for a long time. If it's
I think
supportive,
so.
it's like, what is wrong here?
I think that's right.
So how is that? Like, I've never been in a situation where a partner that I'm with is involved in music. So is that bring a whole other element?
It you know what it does. Like obviously, like we met through playing through the industry, and she was living in Ontario, and I was living in Saskatchewan, and through circumstances, and I had younger kids and stuff. She ended up moving out to Saskatchewan, and yeah, like it's different because for two reasons. It's different because we're both in the industry, and sometimes we could be on the same gigs, sometimes we could be on different gigs, and then we also both teach at the same place.
Oh, wow.
So we have like the same sort of things sort of going on, but it works, and we try to be. It is there is some things yeah, I don't know, like, but it works. I'm not sure actually, now that you've mentioned it, I don't even I'm not sure how, like
Now you're thinking about it. It was so
yeah,
natural that you didn't even have to think about it. And now I'm like,
yeah, now you got me
I hope
so
I didn't think it, because that's awesome. Like, I mean, having a supportive partner is a huge thing. I'm in a relationship that I've been in now for 10 years, coming up, and she's incredibly supportive. And she doesn't play music, but she does art in her own right. She
yeah,
actually designed that board that I was showing at the beginning there,
yeah,
and does her own kind of art that's Sharpie based, which is kind of neat. And I've often wondered if there would be that dynamic of like pushing you to a different level in music. Like,
it's
somebody, is there ever like that competition, like the competitive vibe that happens?
yeah. Well, you know what? Oh, I just saw Sarah's thing here. She said your audio dropped 3/4.
Oh, is it back good? I don't know. I think
I don't
there's a
know. I
little
think
bit of
I've
a
got mine
delay on
up.
it too.
Maybe my phone call cut you out.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it was, because there is a delay on the responses. I think there's like a 2-second delay on the actual video
Okay, so
when it's
she
getting into
said your
the.
audio was down a little bit, like the volume.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're a little quieter here too, but
Oh,
it's probably because I'm
maybe
just
I
too
need to
loud.
get closer to the microphone.
I don't know. Is your volume all the way up on your thing there?
Oh yeah, it's all the
It's
way
just
up.
because I'm too loud. That's all it is. I don't even
It's
think we
the
need the
shirt.
microphones. You could probably hear me in Calgary from here.
It's probably the
Um,
shirt.
yeah, it's definitely the shirt. It's not. No, it's not a competition thing. It's like I know, like Laura had sang in the last sort of incarnation of Lace with Bev Mahood,
Nice. Oh, I think you got a call
and
coming
then
in again.
she was working lots, and she went to Humber, and like yeah, she really knows like how to play and what's going on, and I don't think she'll ever know how much her musicality does inspire me and pushes me because I play drums and she's a musician, so
Right.
and it's and I get the most nervous whenever we're working together because I know that when I'm doing things, especially if we're doing a gig and we have to sing together, which I'm fine with that, but I'll be super self-conscious of like that a lot, which is good because it probably makes me sing a bit better and pay attention to stuff.
Yeah, it
But
makes you a little bit
again,
more aware of it.
yeah, having said that, she's in the industry or any of that, who in their right mind has a support system of family, and that's her and my kids and my sister and extended family and friends that I can go away for like 6 weeks on the road and no one's like complaining and freaking out.
See,
Right. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's
she's the
awesome.
rock in our house. Like our house would fall apart if I'm left too long to run our house, like 2 days, man, the whole thing could cave in.
Place is on fire. There's
Absolute
flooding.
100% it would. Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Boy, there's no doubt in my mind. So yeah. But yeah, the fact that she plays and everything is completely amazing, and she's
Cool.
very, very good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But you did one mistake though. There's no drum shaming in this live broadcast. Not allowed to drum shame. You are a musician.
Okay. Well, yeah. No, I get that. I understand. That's my own. I have that's one of my pet peeves of myself is the self deprivation thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, but yeah, it's
we all have it. We all have it. It's that inner voice. Our biggest critic is ourselves.
It's like but it's like anything. If you want to get better at something, surround yourself with people that are way better than you.
Absolutely. It raises the bar and forces you to get better.
That's how you get better, man. I've always, who's messaging me? People are trying to get a hold of me here. I don't know why. It's like I have friends. I have no friends.
I probably should have told you to put it on airplane mode. That's what I did.
Yeah, I should have, but it's interesting. It makes me feel important. But I've always told myself that I never wanted to be the oldest guy or the most experienced guy in any band I ever play in, because not that that makes you lazy, but it just I'm the kind of person that needs to be pushed. I can have self-discipline, but it's always easier if I have someone that I have to kind of look at and go, oh man, I got to keep up, or I've got to get my act together, or
Yeah. That challenge, that inner challenge.
Absolutely. And it should always be that way. And it's good because there's a ton of, really, really great players in our community in Canada that we can play with, and they'll do that.
Absolutely.
Which is awesome.
Will push each other, that's kind of the ticket. There's that friendly push,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially when it's done in a respectful way, I know you can do better. Not saying that you did bad, but I know you can do better.
Absolutely.
And in a band situation where, your guitar player is like, meh, or better yet, you're telling the guitar player, I know you can get on time here. We can do this. We just got to practice.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the other part of teaching too, is just knowing, when someone's capable of something, and if they're not quite there, you can kind of push them a little bit. Oh, someone else is saying here they can't hear. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if I've done something.
I wonder if it's the cutting in from the phone, maybe. That's kind of weird.
I don't know
what it is.
I've got everything up here, but I don't know if there's another volume thing on the. I don't know. I'll just talk. I'll talk louder.
Talk louder.
I'm pretty sure no one's saying they can't hear me.
Now.
Pretty sure they're not saying they can't hear me. Everybody can hear me all over the town here. I'm the loudest guy. I'm the loudest guy in the world.
Yeah, that's what happens. Awesome. Well, what brands are you using right now? Are you using Yamaha?
Yeah. I'm playing Yamaha drums and Sabian cymbals and Brinkworth sticks and Remo heads, and what else? Not that I always forget, but I'm using drum dots. I'm using. Oh, I'm so bad with this. Because I know a few, then I always forget stuff. A plunge, Simon Fisk's plunge in ears.
Oh yeah. Simon's great.
Some radial engineering products out of BC, DIs and a pedal to switch my vocal mic off and on. Right. And I know I'm forgetting something. Headhunter Creations, Dave Rundle, the brushes and stuff, which are absolutely incredible.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm lucky to get to use some really good gear.
Absolutely. And there are a lot of great dudes in all of those companies, backing it up, like Sean Brown and Scott Atkins.
Yeah. Sean and Ryan are great. And, Scott Atkins representing all the stuff he does. Yeah, Canada's got a really strong industry on the backside of that stuff that a lot of players don't actually get to see. But there are a lot of guys that work really hard. Like you say, Sean, Ryan, Scott Atkins, Dave Rundle. Oh man, who Dave Lawrence.
Absolutely, yeah, Dave Lawrence.
So many guys. Peter Marunzak.
Oh
Like
yeah,
they just
yeah,
they go above and beyond. And that was one thing with doing the drum events is I got to know some of those people just through associations of some players in the companies, and gained a whole new respect for that world, man. Because that's like that can't be easy when us yahoos
it's
are getting a hold of them
I
going,
guarantee it's
"I've got a problem," and they're like, "Fix it yourself." I don't know. You
Yeah, I
know,
can imagine.
they can easily do that, but they don't. They go above and beyond to, you know, to help out.
Yeah, and that's what makes it a really interesting community that I don't think. I mean, there's elements of that in the American side of things too, but I think in Canada, because it's such a small community and everybody's related in some sort of way, it is a lot easier to have the support coming. I think it's
Yeah,
it's it's shared a little bit more, than say the larger market.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like I don't have a scope on that enough to really know. I just know that I've heard from some American artists playing products, just their respect they have for the Canadian artist relations guys. That you know did and again I don't know. I only know what I know. So you know. Oh, someone asked if I was still using a Soundbrenner. Yes, I am. I totally forgot about that. Yes.
Okay, tell us what that is. I'm not sure what that is.
The Soundbrenner is the it's a vibrating metronome that you can wear like it looks like a watch,
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Oh,
and you
okay,
can
yeah.
wear it.
Gary Richmond, yeah, he's got one of those. That's right.
Yeah,
It's like the wristwatch thing you wear on your wrist.
exactly. Yeah, and then you
Oh,
can have a strap where it could go around your leg or around your whole body. Yeah, I use it. I use it a lot in practice. We had been using it. We just switched platforms for our tracks with Aaron, but we were using Pro Tools and we had it linked to the Pro Tools rig, playing live. So if something happened with my monitor mix, I still had a reference for the tracks. It just sort of a
right.
backup, but it works great. I love
Did
it.
you have
I
the
just love
click?
being able to feel the pulse rather than hear it. It's not target practice.
So did you have like the click as well as the vibration?
Yeah, yeah. Like
Oh wow.
I'd have the tracks in my in-ear mix, but then I'd have the
Right.
vibration going. So there had been a couple shows where there had been interference on a stage, and you know for 5 seconds the my mix would go down. And when you're playing with tracks, 5 seconds feels like 7 hours.
Yeah, that's an eternity.
And it would just be a backup. It would just keep going, and it was good. But I really like practicing with it. I really like the idea of it's just a different level of concentrating that comes into play rather than hearing an audible tick. And,
Right.
and I and I think it could really tighten everybody's sort of just feeling of that up. Not that and again, working with a metronome isn't about working to get perfect time. It's just to get even consistent time. But it just
Yeah.
you know and good time. The only way to have good time is thinking in time, and it's just I find it's a process of that that really kind of made
Right.
me think just a little bit differently, which was really good.
Was it really natural to use it? Like when you first used it, was it like did it take a little bit of a period of getting used to or
Oh yeah, yeah. It was a little weird. It was just different because you don't realize how you know just as you know the audible click is happening, how it becomes like target practice, and you're just kind of like trying to nail it rather than feel it. And with the vibration, you can actually like you can feel it. It's kind of hard to explain. Like people would have to try it, and I know a lot of people tried it and they didn't like it at first, but you do have to give it a bit of time. But it is nice. Like it's really nice having it on and just practicing, like you know, going through stick control and stuff, and just playing different hand patterns and transitions to really
right,
sort
right.
of yeah, just to feel the evenness in everything that you're playing, and it's not something clanking in your head.
That totally makes sense. I'd probably put it in
That's just my
like
opinion.
cattle prod mode or something, cattle
Yeah,
prod mode. So like,
that's
there's the one. There's the
the
one.
se- the searing click. Yeah, yeah. That's well, it's not an argument, but it's a funny topic to talk to people about. And I just found I like I like anything that makes me think about something differently, and it definitely made me think of things a bit differently,
Yeah,
which is
totally.
good.
Well, yeah, that's the trick is to always find something that keeps it new and exciting.
Yep. Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah, and I think that they're doing a great job in, you know, they've released a second generation of it, and
Oh, wow.
It's I think that I think it's valid. I think it's very valid.
That's cool. I'm gonna definitely check that out. I know that they carry it along McQuaid. I think I've seen it there before.
Yeah.
I'll have to pop in and check
Yeah, it's
it
cool.
out.
And the app, like the other thing is the app that you use through Bluetooth with it, the app as a standalone app is amazing. Like it's got great sounds and it's super intuitive and it's super easy to use. So I would say to a lot of guys, like if you're using like your iPad or something live for a click, the app is great because it's like a lot of apps, you have to like slide the wheel. And this one you can actually like touch it and then you can punch in the numbers to go to the next song real quick. Like if you're at
Oh wow.
120, next song is 148. You can just touch it and dial 148, and it's a great app. And it's free,
Smart.
so you don't need the
Yeah.
Soundbrenner device to actually just use the app on its own.
Oh wow.
So it's pretty
I'll have
slick.
to check it out.
Yeah, I do like that. I have a lot of students that have that as their app on their device, and they really like it because there are options for sounds and different subdivisions you can program in, and it's super
Ooh,
flexible.
that's cool. That's
Yep,
cool. You'll have to shoot me a PM with the web address and all that, and I'll share that out there.
absolutely, I
So
will.
people can
Yeah,
check it out.
100%.
Right on. Yeah, 100%. Which reminds me, I see Ben Bradley's in the crowd here. 100%.
Oh, hey, yeah.
Ben Bradley. He's going to be my guest next week.
Whoa, that's awesome. I love that dude.
We're going to talk about haircuts.
You, you should you should talk about haircuts with him. He would
Absolutely.
totally love it.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Yeah, man.
haircuts and yeah, another
Yeah.
Yamaha friend there. So
Those,
two
yeah, oh yeah,
Yamaha
man. Well,
guys.
those, you know what? Again, you know, this industry is there's so many players that we're surrounded by that I have, well, all the players I have respect for, but man, there's just this huge pocket of guys that are working and they're working for the right reasons and they work like in such an honest way. And I just love that. And Ben's totally one of those guys. He's
Oh
in it
yeah,
to win it,
fully.
man. And I'll cheer guys like that
100%.
on all day long.
Yeah. There's a lot in this like this region especially like Alberta, Saskatchewan. Yeah, there's a ton, several in Edmonton, several in Calgary.
Yeah.
And I run into all of them all the time during Stampede all over the place. And yeah, Jerry's another one of them as well.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's really cool to see. And you know what? Everybody's friends and everybody is really supportive of each other.
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
like guitar players who watch another guitar player and go, yeah, that's I gotta play that better.
yeah.
You never hear
That's
that. You never hear that from
yeah.
a drummer. You always hear,
Yeah.
man, great set. What's that snare drum? What kind of heads are you using? What kind of sticks are those? You always hear
Yeah.
that, which is
Yeah.
so exciting about the community. It's supportive and it's one of my favorite parts of the whole thing. Nate
Yeah.
Dogg's on as well. Nate Dogg's a country drummer as well. He plays with JJ Shiplet.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, there's a few dudes on here that are throwing down on the regular.
Oh man,
So
that's
yeah,
good. That's
yeah,
really great. Yeah, no, it's the drumming community is super tight. Like globally it is it's just a different thing. I know my wife had commented on that a lot during the drum events and stuff. She would be like, you know what, you guys just no one else is like this. Like you just hang and you just
yeah.
like everybody's just an open book and sharing everything. There's no protecting information. It's
Yeah, they're
all,
not. Yeah,
you know,
no hidden information.
no, man, it's plastic, metal, and wood, and we're beating the heck out of it. And
Yeah,
how do you do it? That's different than how do I do it? I don't know.
yeah, exactly.
And then we all look and go, how does Steve Gadd do it so great? Or
Yeah,
any or
exactly.
Jordan
Everybody
or
turns to the top three and goes John Bonham or Steve Gadd,
yeah, yeah, man,
Stuart Copeland, Neil
yeah,
Peart. So
of course,
those
yeah. There's
guys are all the benchmarks, I guess.
so many guys, but again, it's your preference, right?
Yeah,
It's your
it
thing.
is.
Yeah, man, Copeland. It's for the young guys. That's one thing with my students. We go through phases and I take them through little things of players that they may not know. And that's one thing we do is we dive back into some police stuff. And
Yeah,
they all have a blast with it because there's so many cool things that they learn, but so many cool things that they hear. Because when you hear those records, you know, you don't hear people play hi-hats and cymbals like that anymore.
no,
Or,
not
you know,
nowhere near as
playing
musical.
playing verses of tunes and no kick drum on the one, and you go, huh, what? Like, he's not even playing kick drum on one. It's like, absolutely. And it's a trio.
Yeah, exactly. Mind blowing. Mind blowing.
Made his own rules.
What's your next event going on in the homeland there?
The next event is I get home Thursday and I take my 6-year-old to his hip hop class, so I'm pumped.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm pumped about
Like
that.
dance
And then the
class
next
or rapping.
no dancing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
it's that'll be fun. I always dig doing stuff around the house. And what else is going on for playing? Just teaching. It's getting a little busier now because our year-end concerts come up. We do a big thing at the end of the year in June. We do 4 big concerts. So there's planning of that, and I have to write this drum piece for the students to play and stuff. Then we're working on tunes. The theme this year is R&B and beyond. So we're playing everything from Sam Cooke to Bruno Mars to Adele to it's all over the map. These kids love it. So yeah,
That's
and
great.
then
That's good exposure for the kids for sure.
yeah,
Great
yeah,
exposure.
absolutely. And then I think there's some gigs coming up around town. I think there's a couple things going on with Chris Henderson, and I think JJ's got a couple things coming up, and then Aaron's got, I think stuff comes up again with him in May. And it's not a crazy intense schedule of playing, but I never, teaching is such a big part of what I'm doing and making sure the school's cool. There's a lot of people there and stuff. And I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I'll look at the schedule when I get home, I guess. I don't know.
There you
I don't
go.
have any tunes. I don't have any tunes to learn for this weekend. That's what I'm telling you right now.
Just got to keep looking good. Just got to
That's
keep
well,
looking good.
man. I might have to wear this shirt out tonight now. I don't know. Just to say I did.
It's been on the fence and off the fence. I think the decision's made. You're going to go find a barbecue place and you're going to wear that shirt, but you're not going to get any barbecue sauce on it. All right.
I was just thinking that I didn't bring the second shirt, so I can't stain it up.
Don't do it. You'll get that for sure. You're getting barbecue sauce on it for sure.
Yeah. I'll leave it behind then. I'll leave it behind.
There you go.
That's funny, man. You got a lot of people watching this. This is so great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty cool little community here we got going on, and it's growing. And yeah, again, thank you for being so into this. This is awesome.
Good for you, man. Oh yeah, no, again, anytime someone does something in this industry, and this is, I don't know if there's a lot of young guys watching, but man, anytime someone sticks their neck out to do anything a little bit different is amazing, because that's what you have to do, and that's what anything that inspired us was someone doing that, whether it was their playing or whether it was whatever. And nowadays with technology, you can do this kind of stuff, and it's awesome. Like, I totally love it.
Can you imagine, like, when we were growing up, because we're pretty close to the same age. I'm 44 and you're like 75.
Exactly. So we're only about 52 years apart. Yeah.
We're only about 52 years apart. We're both 25.
Dude, yes.
Can you imagine growing up and like listening to a record and then being able to get a hold of that drummer this way?
Yeah, I know.
It's unbelievable. It is
like
unbelievable that is such a thing now, that it's so much accessibility to everything. It's beautiful.
It's crazy. I know I've told students before that, and again, you sound like the old guys say this, back in my day, but it wasn't like that long ago, back in the 80s, not the 1880s, the 1980s. But yeah, like I've told my students, like, if there was YouTube around in the 80s, I would have quit high school. There's no doubt. I would have just stayed home all day.
All your students are quitting high school next week.
I would have, no. And then I say, don't do that. But I just, I can't imagine what that would have done to me at that age, because I was just so, well, we all were so vulnerable and impressible that, if I could have sat at home.
Modern Drummer magazine and all that,
man, like,
reading,
it's, if I was at home and I could go on YouTube and watch Picaro play with Toto, I'd just be like, okay, I've just got a bag of Doritos and I'm just going to lay in bed all day and watch this. I probably wouldn't have practiced, but I just would have sat and like, I still can't believe now that I can like dial that up on my phone and watch it, like essentially for free.
Essentially for free. Yeah.
You know, and
Mind blowing.
it's great because it's so inspiring. Like, you know, I'm always, you know, curious how far you can go and going, okay, well, I'm going to go back and see if I can find like clips from the 1960s of Miles Davis. And then you find like so many of them and you go, okay, so now I'm watching Tony Williams play with Miles Davis on my phone. What?
Yeah.
And
And
then you
now
go,
with Wi-Fi in the airplanes, you do it on a what? There was a quote. Now you're on your phone on the internet in a lawn chair in the sky.
in the
Because
sky.
they
That's
have
exact,
Wi-Fi on airplanes now too. So
man.
mind blowing, mind
Exactly.
blowing,
Well,
totally mind blowing.
it is crazy. But again, you know, if someone ever says, "Geez, I'm kind of lacking some inspiration," it's like, wow, it's you could find it anywhere now,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, and you could
exactly.
find any, you know, you can find anything. Like I always joke about it. I'm like, man, if I ever needed my appendix taken out, I could probably just find a video on YouTube and maybe do it
Oh yeah,
myself.
you can do it on YouTube for sure. I
Yeah,
worked on my car. I have the automotive skills of a dog, and I
I've
found some stuff on YouTube to fix my car the other day.
I'm one below that, so I don't know what that would be, but I'm one below that.
A rock. I guess it would be a
That
rock.
probably that's probably it. Yeah, man. No, it's pretty amazing. But again, you know, that's one thing that I do with students is I'll just write a list of names and go, how many of these names do you know? And they're like, none of them. And I'm like, okay, for next week,
Here's
go
your
watch
homework.
one clip of all of them.
Yeah,
You know, and then
totally.
they'll find a whole bunch of new things, and then we've got like this discussion going on, going, okay, well, you like this guy, well, here's the lineage back to that guy, and you
Yeah,
know, so they're sort of seeing a parallel drawn, and they can go, oh, so he does that, but that guy, you know, it's you know, like talking about the Chili Peppers years ago, students would bring in the Chili Peppers all the time. I'd be like, okay, well, let's go back and play some James Brown, and then you'll
yeah.
see, you know,
Where that came
and
from.
then all of a sudden they'll go, oh, I hear why Chad Smith would do that, and I also know who Clyde Stubblefield is now,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
great, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah. That's it's such a cool vibe for sure, man. It's inspiring.
yeah,
So I want to
well, it
thank you for
is.
coming, man. Thanks for
This
doing this. I appreciate it. I know
this is so
everybody
great,
here,
and I
all
love,
the remarks and all that. Everybody's appreciating it and digging it. So,
yeah,
man, that's great. It's an
I love
inspiration.
that that you're getting all the guys involved. I just love the people that you're going to have on here, and it's gonna go nuts for sure. I know for a
Oh,
fact.
it's. I tell you, man, there's been a lot of response. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too much, but there's some surprising ones. There's
Yeah,
some surprising ones that you know I already talk to on a regular basis and get ideas and advice from that are interested in doing it. And even you know the first time the conversation came up and the reaction to this
yeah,
was over the top, and it really hit me like super hard. I'm like, whoa, okay, so we're on to something here. So I
yeah,
got to figure out a way to make it a little bit better. There's some glitches that happen and whatnot. Like once it dumps down to the regular format, it has a little bit of glitching and some latency in spots. So it's not perfect, but to do a chat, it's great for that. And really,
yeah,
we
man,
just
and
want something
it's
simple. So
totally,
this is it for now.
and it is on both sides. Like it's you know when you're talking about that, I just all I think about is you know with the drum things that went on and some of the people that were at those things, I was like, man, you just got to ask. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
you just got to
Well,
reach out to a
you
guy
never
and
get an
go,
answer if you don't ask. You never get an
absolutely.
answer if you don't ask. It's
Absolutely.
like
And
you never see the
you don't
golden
realize how
rule
many
in the plastic.
players, again, with the drum community, you know, it is a bit different how giving guys are, but you just don't realize how many guys just love being part of this stuff. And, you know,
Yeah.
and if they've got some free time, they're like, well, what am I going to do?
Well,
Sit around and go for a walk maybe, or sit and talk
yeah.
with some guys and maybe somebody gets
About somebody
inspired by
you care
something.
about. Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. And
And with the ease of it doing it on a cell phone, a hotel room, it could be backstage, it could be like on your walk anywhere.
yeah, man.
Apparently the earbud things do improve the sound, so I got to get a pair of those. But
Yeah.
other than that, I mean, it's off to a good start. And
Yeah, man. And that
yeah.
stuff you figure out as it goes, right? Like this isn't stuff,
Oh yeah.
if all of us waited to play the way we wanted to play before we ever did a gig, would still never have done a gig.
No, no, exactly.
You figure it, you know
Exactly.
what I mean? You
This
figure
is
it out
only
along the
number
way and you go,
two. This is only number two. So it's
yeah. And
doing great.
I don't know. I'm digging it. I think it looks great. I think it's fine.
Awesome. Perfect.
I don't know. Just some people interrupting me here, but that was okay.
Oh, that happens. That
Yeah.
just reminds me now for the next thing when I'm doing my bleed out for it in the information about it to say put your phone on airplane mode and then enable the Wi-Fi and
Yeah,
then it's a non-issue. So that's actually
absolutely.
a good learning thing to know, so that it didn't get interrupted in a really bad way. So that's
Yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah,
Totally.
well, exactly. Well, hey, man, the guy with the gold shirt will be your test pigeon all the time. I could do it. I could do that.
Sweet.
It's what I'm good
Well, I'm
for.
gonna go put some pants on now, and we're gonna wrap this up. Again, Jayson, thank you so much for joining us, and keep on rocking. You're definitely an inspiration to I know a lot of people, and clearly me as well. So again, thanks, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate your friendship and all the things you do, man. It's I can't say again. I can't say enough about people doing stuff. People that try
Thanks,
and
man.
go for it.
Word. Okay, I'm gonna close this out now. Thanks everybody for checking it out. See you next week.